Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Brewers Outlet, Sunbury Motor Company, and Purdy Insurance. Now, from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And we welcome everyone back to the show. This half hour being brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Ford Kia Hyundai, best in new inventory. Great pre-owned inventory with the Sunbury Motors guarantee. Sunbury Motors with a great service department. Great service department that takes care of quick lane inspections, routine, difficult, all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. We bring in the outstanding Adam Rittenberg. Adam, welcome. It's so great to hear you back.
Good to be with you, man. How you doing?
Great. It's really great. So Tony Petitti is holding firm on his idea. And I always give people credit. I mean, I know you can borrow ideas and shape it into your own, but I give him credit for at least thinking outside the box. When he talked about the playoff idea, what is it about the idea that has him so enamored that he wants to stand firm with it?
Right. Well, again, I think that Tony looks at it, somewhat through a pro sports lens. And in pro sports, everything leads into the postseason, and you have increasing playoffs with more opportunities and more teams and fan bases that are engaged all the way until the end of the regular season. I think the hard thing that what he's seeing in college football is that it's been a sport where people have generally been fine with most teams being out of it. In some cases, very early in the season, that you don't go into the month of November with 8 or 12 or 20 fan bases that still have a chance. And so he has a hard time, with why others don't see it his way, that, hey, this will keep so many people more engaged. We'll have a incredible weekend, not just a game of Big Ten. I mean, you were obviously calling the Penn State Oregon game in Indianapolis, for the Big Ten championship, which was a really fun game. But we knew that both teams were going to the college football playoff. There was no drama there. So, these other games, which would occur on Big Ten campuses, would have that drama in some cases, especially the road teams. They would have to win to have any chance to get into the playoff. And Tony sees that as a great opportunity. And, obviously there are other areas that it would benefit from media rights and revenue for those schools. But he really believes that having more teams involved to have a chance for the playoff is better. And it would, take this non-conference schedule burden off, which, again, I understand that. I have beaten the drum for better scheduling in college football forever. But I understand where the Big Ten is coming from, having 2 consecutive national champions that did not challenge themselves in the non-conference, and then seeing the SEC's continued resistance to increasing the number of conference games up to where the Big Ten and the Big 12 are. So as much as I hate to see it, because I don't think it serves the fans, I understand why the Big Ten is, in Indiana and others are avoiding these types of, somewhat marquee non-conference games.
Yeah, because Indiana announced that they're not going to they play their series with Virginia, I believe. I think they announced the buyout of that. So is it possible, I don't know if this was brought up with Tony or not, but if the SEC and the Big Ten were to come to some sort of agreement that there would still be on the table the idea of the two conferences playing each other in a number of games in the non-con?
Well, I think that would be something that they would discuss if the schedules were uniform. I mean, the Big Ten's not going to play the SEC in some type of cross-league invitational when the total number of games against Power 4 opponents is different. So if the SEC can get to 9 games, and then both teams, both leagues are probably more interested in talking about that type of agreement, which again would be great for college football. And we haven't had a lot of Big Ten SEC regular season crossovers. There was a stretch where we had them in those early season neutral site games. Penn State obviously played Alabama and Auburn, which is great. Wisconsin's playing Alabama this year, and they've been one of the more aggressive teams in the Big Ten in terms of scheduling the SEC. But for the most part, we haven't seen a lot of crossover games between those leagues. Even though this year we do get Ohio State, Texas, which is great, and then Michigan going to Oklahoma.
Right, yeah, and of course Texas and Ohio State open the season. So when it's all said and done, where is he with Greg Sankey right now? Because no offense, it doesn't really matter where he is with Jim Phillips or Brett Yormark. Where is he with Greg Sankey right now, and how open is the line of communication between the two?
Well, I can tell you how open it is, Steve, because I was talking with Tony Batiti. We kind of finished our interview and just kind of talking about a few things off the record, and he looks at his phone, and Greg Sankey's calling him. So the communication is there. They talk a lot and about a lot of different things, not just the college football playoff format. They've obviously were involved in the formation of the new CSC and some of the things that are going on, globally with college sports. So it's not as though this disagreement or just different positions is creating a rift between Tony and Greg. They are very much, in constant communication. But at the end of the day, if Tony does not sound like a guy to me, the way he presented himself in Vegas, that is going to back down from this playoff model significantly. And Greg has outlined his position, which again may have changed a little bit coming out of their spring meeting. So unless somebody comes up with a different idea, or there is truly a spirit of compromise, I don't think this thing is going to get to 16 teams in 2026. I think it's going to remain at 12, which again is fine. Like the 12-team playoff with the proper seeding, Steve, is fine. Yep. And it's so unlike college sports to take so long to get to a new playoff model and then want to change it a year later. That's just not how it works around here. Usually it takes too long to get changes through. And you got this one, and I think it was still a mostly successful postseason that has a chance to be even better with the straight seeding. And we're already, getting worked up about 16 teams in different formats, and are we going to get there?
Yeah, but you know what? I agree with you. The proper seeding, 12 works just fine, and I understand that. But it's interesting you talk about the SEC and how the coaches felt, in which they were talking about 5 plus 11. Yet I also get the impression, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, that they're not enamored with the committee, especially Alabama and South Carolina not getting in. 5 plus 11 leaves 11 committee opinions, as opposed to Tony's with a 16-team playoff. Tony's leaves 3 opinions. Isn't that appealing to the SEC?
Yeah, no, you would think. I mean, I think they believe that they're, even at an 8-game conference schedule, their strength of schedule and some of the other data would be convincing to that committee to put more SEC teams in as at-larges. And if it was a 16-team playoff last year, the SEC would have been more represented than it was in the 12-team playoff with only 3 teams. So I think they believe, yes, in some cases last year, maybe, in their mind, maybe an SEC team should have gotten in over Indiana, but with 16 teams, there's no way that they're going to be left out some of those non-conference champions, non-teams playing in the SEC championship. So, but yeah, the Big Ten and Tony Petitti made it very clear that while he respects the selection committee, he does not believe it's the best way to figure out a playoff field, especially an expanding one.
How important does the month of November become if his idea goes into play? Because now I would think you'd have maybe teams 4 through 8 in the Big Ten vying for those last spots.
Right, and even more. I mean, Tony wants a system where there's, half the league at least can go into the month of November knowing that it has a chance. And, that's how it is in pro sports. And whether that's right or wrong for college football, we can certainly debate. I made my opinion to him pretty clear and said, hey, Tony, I get it, but this is not a sport where 8-4 is celebrated, at least to a postseason perspective and a playoff perspective. So it is different. But I think from his perspective, let's get everybody engaged in this process and have a real pennant race. I mean, again, this guy came from MLB, which I'm an old San Francisco Giants fan. I still remember the 1993 season where they won more than 100 games and got left out. Like, MLB has changed. MLB has expanded, and there's more spots for wild card teams. This is essentially a larger wild card system, like the MLB or NFL or really all the pro sports. And so, are we going to get there? Who knows? But that's certainly what he wants to see happen. And again, it makes sense when you're talking about a league with 18 members and 3 major television partners, to be able to have them fully involved in that lead up to the playoff, which, again, for now and for the foreseeable future is with a non-television partner, my employer. So that you can't ignore any of those factors in this process.
Excuse me, San Francisco Giants fan, but in 2014, you won a one-game playoff over Pittsburgh 4-0 when Crawford hit a grand slam and they beat the Pirates. Oh, and went on to win the World Series over the other team that won a one-game playoff over the A's, the Kansas City Royals. So yes, you could come out of the maze and still win.
That's right, but I'm still ticked off at the Colorado Rockies, who were basically an expansion team.
Yes,
I think they went 0-21 against the Braves, and that was back when the Braves and the Giants were in the same division. It was very much like the Big Ten. Like, why are the Braves and Giants in the same division? Why are Washington and Penn State in the same conference? But the Rockies couldn't win one freaking game against the Braves, and then the Giants missed the playoffs by a single game. It was brutal. Never get over that.
Oh, it's 78. I'm a Red Sox fan. I still see Bucky Dent. So, come on. Adam, was it one last one that I know I have to let you go. Was there any other quick storyline that came out of the Big Ten meetings in Las Vegas that intrigued you?
Well, yeah, I think for your listeners, I liked James Franklin's demeanor when I spoke with him. Understanding what's at stake this year, and understanding that he has seemingly everything in place to make a run for a Big Ten championship and a national title. I think that certainly came through. I think there's I think the Big Ten's middle section is going to be really interesting to watch, because last year it was such a stratified league with the 4 playoff teams. Illinois kind of came on at the end, but there was a real gap for most of the season between the top 4 and everyone else. I don't think that's going to be the case in terms of that middle section. They have a chance to be stronger. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa is a team to watch. Maybe USC will improve. Nebraska has a really favorable schedule and a pretty good roster coming back. I think Washington is a team no one's really talking about. So it's going to be fascinating, Steve, beyond a fairly clear top 3 of Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, in whatever order you have them. That next group, are they able to push for playoff spots? And can the Big Ten once again have at least 4 in this 12-team playoff this fall?
Appreciate it always, Adam. I know you carved out some time for us today, and I truly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
The great Adam Rittenberg joining us on the show today, brought to you by our good friends at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Here on News Radio 1070 W.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
KOK.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is because it's Brewers Outlet time. The beverage supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
Sunbury Motors Ford is turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the summer at the North 4th Street Auto Plaza in Sunbury. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 Ford Escape, over $6,800 off on select models. That's right, starting at just $24,975. Wow! A brand new SUV for under $25,000. Or take the road in a brand new Ford Explorer, now at the lowest price of the year, only $37,795. And check this out. They've got 26 Ford F-150s, America's best-selling truck, with savings close to $13,000. Yours from just $48,569. Want even more? How about 0% APR for 48 months on most models? These deals won't last. Head to Sunbury Motors Ford on North 4th Street in Sunbury. Or visit sunburymotors.com before they're gone.
Welcome back. Great to have you with us. Brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15, Hummel's Wharf, online, sunburymotors.com. All right, so, I know what Tony's thinking, and I know what you're thinking in terms of the fairness of this. And it's college sports. When's it ever been fair? Oh, goodness gracious. What? What?
Hey. One minute I see all the negatives and I don't like it, like I said before, but I see the positives as well, and I think people will watch. I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure why 1 and 2 have to play there, because you kind of put the coaches in the tough spot, because the kids are going to want to win a national or win a conference championship, but you're also going to have to balance what you want to do in the playoffs and how much you're going to play people, and because those two teams definitely know they're going to be in the playoff.
Right, and that was Adam's point. He says, like you said, because I talked to Adam out at Lucas Oil before and after the game. He's like he said, Steve, you and I both knew that that Penn State and Oregon were both going to make it.
We knew, but it wasn't 100% guaranteed. These 1-2s will be 100% guaranteed.
Yeah, but no, it was we both knew going in it was guaranteed that they were both making it. That night, because it turned out in the final standings, Penn State was 4th. If it was a 14 playoff, Penn State would have played Oregon in a rematch.
I guess my argument is they hadn't done it yet, so you couldn't guarantee it, I guess. Because it's the first year, and they said they weren't going to penalize people for what happened in the conference championship games.
Yeah.
But I really, Are you making the Big Ten championship game meaningless by doing that?
See, that's an excellent point.
But the kids are going to want to run a conference championship, and nobody's going to know you know if you rested or not if you have a conference champion for that year beside you. So,
right,
it's just a hard one. Just it doesn't sound correct. How's that? And I think you said he doesn't want it to become professional sports, but that's certainly a professional sports model, like you said.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's the model in 3 of the sports right now, 3 of the major sports. It's not the model in the NHL, although the NHL, I find it a little interesting as to how who's in and who's out. You know what I mean? Between divisions and whatever. But it's your point total that gets you in or out. In the NBA, you have 7 versus 10, 8 versus 9 in the play-in. And as I pointed out earlier, Miami was in that 8-9 play-in 2 years ago, won it, kept winning, and got to the final before Denver finally beat them. So the Nuggets won it. But the Heat went from the play-in to the finals. As you know, with Adam, I already pointed about the Giants and the Royals in 2014, both winning the one-game play-in and then getting to the World Series where the Giants won it. So, and then in the NFL, as I asked you earlier, I don't think any of the 7-2s have been competitive to this point. Since a 7 got in, 6s have won the Super Bowl. The Steelers won the Super Bowl as a 6. The Packers won the Super Bowl as a 6. The Giants won the Super Bowl as a 6. But so far, no 7 has been competitive with a 2. At least not that I can recall.
I was going to say the only thing I could come up with, but that was a losing record winning the division, so they were the lower seed anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think a 7's come anywhere close to a 2.
Right. Now that's so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Also, let me throw this out here quick. If you missed the beginning part of the Adam Rittenberg interview because of the severe thunderstorm watch, it'll be up on Steve's Twitter and on the Facebook page. I'll link to it after the show. Did you get a severe thunderstorm, or did it said it was coming from Center Hall?
It's sunny here right now.
No, so it just must have went through.
Now, it got really cloudy, but I was talking to Adam at the time, so,
Yeah. It got very dark out here.
But I was locked into doing the interview.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really notice.
Well, if you got the brunt of it, that made it sound like you'd have noticed because they said there was hail and stuff, so.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm assuming even stuff bouncing off your windows distracts you a bit.
Yeah, except, see, you've never been in the Sunbury Motor Studio. Steve Engel has.
Nah.
But it would be hard to do that.
Nah.
We're
Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And this half hour brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket, imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of cold beer. And I emphasize cold. This isn't Great Britain, my man. It's cold beer here. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, snacks, lots of water. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. Ready to drink cocktails? High Noon Jack Daniels Crown Royal. Pickle Bar, led by the Barrels and the Dills, indeed second to none. And to answer your question, Todd, going into the break, not a drop here at the station.
Well, we're getting interrupted again.
We're getting interrupted again, huh?
Yes, we are.
Well, let me put it this way. Not a drop here. It missed here.
Yeah.
I don't know how it missed here, but it missed.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah. I hear them in the background. For Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Who the heck is that guy?
We're still streaming now. Your brother's out here as well.
Yeah. And let's bring in the king.
Hello.
How are you?
Are you there? Oh, God,
Yep.
I'm good. How about you?
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my truck. I told Todd it's so friggin' hot. I figured, well, I can hear you better in here, and it's cool in here, and it's 100 degrees out there, and we're in the middle of just finished a thunderstorm. So, all is
Perfect.
good. So, how are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good.
So far, so good. Just cooking along. Training camp for football starts next week. I've got baseball tonight. In fact, Paul Pozlesny's going to be there tonight. They're doing a bobblehead giveaway of him at the ballpark.
Cool. I heard an interesting thing today that this is Lamar Jackson's big year. What do you think? In other words, he's like 3-5 in the playoffs. He's an MVP Hall of Fame player, but when he hits the playoffs, nothing happens. Is this going to be his year? What do you think?
It can be. I mean, he's in the same category as Aaron Judge, where he's a great regular season player, and the postseason it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now, there's issues with that on both sides. What makes a great postseason player? You really have to be special to be great in the postseason because you're facing, in baseball, the better rotations, better pitching staffs, better bullpens, because that's how those teams got there. They were good in all those areas. And then in football, you're facing the better teams. Suddenly you're playing a game at Buffalo. You're not playing a game at New England. And it makes a big difference.
He's only an 80% percentage in the playoffs. So his percentages drop way down in the playoffs. And, for an MVP, because like one guy called him last year was an MVP and a half. He had every bit as good a year as Josh Allen. But he gets in the playoffs and it doesn't happen. And the magic seems to disappear, although, who was it, Mark Andrews dropped that ball. So
yeah.
Whatever.
Which, I mean, look, and you can't help that. And if you're going to pick anybody on that team to throw the ball to, it's going to be him. And, and it turned out he did not catch it. And that's something, football's the ultimate, but that's also football's the ultimate team game. When we're talking about baseball, it's an individual pitcher versus an individual hitter. In basketball, sometimes it's one-on-one. It's Kobe Bryant being defended by, pick a guy, Kendrick Perkins, one-on-one. But in football, you have to have all 11 guys on the same page.
Yeah, but you do have your special players, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Joe Montana, that make plays that nobody else can make. Like, Coach, we did everything right, and he still completed the pass. I guess that's the closest that football can get to individual, where he just, Patrick Mahomes makes plays nobody can make. He makes throws nobody can make.
Right, those are the ad-lib plays.
That's individual.
Yeah, that's the ad lib stuff, and that's what Mahomes is great at ad lib. Jackson's great at ad lib. Josh Allen's great at ad lib. So I mean, there's a lot of and those to me are the difference. And obviously Jalen Hurts is great at ad lib. You can't leave the Super Bowl winner out of it.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is the most underrated player in sports, any sport. He doesn't get any credit. They named the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, and he was like number 9. And you're like, come on, man.
He's 9?
Oh, yeah. He was down the end of the list. I forgot the quarterbacks they had ahead of him. And I was like,
I can see, for example, like Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow. Just thinking off the top of my head.
The only one is Mahomes. Why? The obvious reason. He won a Super Bowl and was a big part of winning that Super Bowl. Where the other ones have not won. Burrow made it to one Super Bowl. Josh Allen's never been in a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Lamar Jackson hadn't even been close to a Super Bowl.
No.
Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl.
And he's been to 2.
Some of the most beautiful throws you could ever make.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think Hurts is a special Hurts is a special player. He runs. He understands now what it means to slide. He understands what it means to get out of bounds because he understands his value to the team. They can't be smacking him around all over the place. He makes incredible throws, great throws that are on time.
Team leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm gunning for him to be my fantasy quarterback again this year.
Well, he'll rack up some numbers for you because he can. Because it's not just because
I won the whole thing last year if he didn't get that stupid concussion. I lost him in the playoffs.
I hate when those football things happen.
Oh, that's fantasy football. I mean, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I was 12-2. And he got a concussion. And I lost him for the playoffs. So that's the way it goes. But, man, he was great. Every week he put up 25, 35 points every week. I had the tush-push, so he was scoring touchdowns. That was just great. I'm curious to see what the kid does for the Redskins.
Daniels? It's interesting.
Whatever.
No, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. I saw something. Was it, Todd, was it yesterday when we had Jody Mack on? No, Wednesday we had Jody Mack on. And somebody had rated Daniels ahead of Jalen Hurts on their quarterback opinion list. I'm like going, he's played 1 year. It's like, what's going on here? Was that right? Was Todd?
Yeah,
Todd,
it was when Jerry was on. Or no, you're right.
No, it's Jody.
It was Jody.
Yeah, and they had a guy rated it
from WFAN.
Oh yeah, well, he's on the show here all the time with us. We're friends.
Really, Jody Mack? I listened to him 20 years ago on FAN.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we have.
So where's he now?
Philadelphia.
Really, good for him. His show was great.
Yeah, but as a guy, let's take all the being on the air side. He's just a great dude. I mean, Todd, Jody, and I get along great. I mean, really, I can't say enough good things. He knows a lot of things, and he also has the advantage of understanding everything that his father went through in trying to run the Mets. And I think that gives him a great perspective on both sides, the player side and the management side.
Yeah. No, he was made for New York radio, and I'm glad he moved off to Philly.
Oh, he's tremendous, but he's great with us. He'll be like the other day. What did he give us? 20 minutes? Yeah, here we go. Well, it's like boom, let's go.
All 4 sports and a tip for the Derby next year.
Yeah, we got all 4 sports and a tip for the Derby next year.
Oh, that's cool. It's a blast from the past because I used to listen to Mike and the Mad Dog and Jody Mack and who's the guy, Steve Summers overnight.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's around anymore, but
I don't think so.
I don't listen to FAN anymore. But,
no.
Wow.
Based on the ratings, a lot of people don't.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Belichick?
I think, look, Belichick will be an area of curiosity like Deion Sanders was for the first month of the season. And then if North Carolina starts to hit some rough patches, then I think that the shine goes off and they're not as much of a story. If they win and keep winning, then it'll be a major story all season long because of what he's doing there.
Well, the curiosity is, because I saw them play their final game last year, they were not very good. UConn played them and beat the living daylights out of them, and UConn wasn't exactly a juggernaut. If Belichick's going to do good, he will have had to bring in quite a few new players. So, because
everybody does.
Coach that group that played UConn. So.
Well, we're going to find out. Like I said, the opening month will be a curious month. Okay? Where everybody's going to be curious.
His girlfriend. But,
oh, well. I don't really. I could care less what he does. Yeah.
Well, the people down there do.
Yeah, I know.
What do they call it? Chapel Bill?
Yeah. Well, I'm not really somebody that really cares too much about that, but that's just me. I don't usually have a curiosity about such things.
Well, she's created a company that she's like CEO of his company, the Bill Belichick Project or whatever, and it's just kind of weird to me that he would go to this level, but she's as popular as he is, so he's got to win. If he doesn't win, he'll be gone in 2 years.
Well, he's in his 70s. Does it matter? He's getting $10 million a year for being there.
Yeah, and he's paid for himself. They're sold out every game.
Yeah,
they're sold out. So
yep.
He's already paid for himself. But that means he's got to put numbers up. And if they don't win, you'd be like, why would you diminish your career? I mean, there's still the idea that Tom Brady was the whole key to New England. Maybe not in the beginning, but by the end, it was all Brady. So players wanted to come to New England because Brady was there. So that made Bill Belichick's life very, very good. Where if Brady wasn't there, these players wouldn't have been coming there. They were willing to take pay cuts to come there.
Well, it helped the fact that Brady took less money, so they had the money to get these guys. That's where Brady really helped out, besides playing.
No, it was twofold. And the players would they would want to come to New England to play with Brady. And that was huge. And, how much of that, the defense was Belichick. And they always had a good defense. Don't get me around that. We'll see. He's putting himself I think he's put himself in a really bad position. So, college is completely different. So,
by the way, at least
start yelling at a kid, will start crying.
It's possible. I ain't starting. I'm departing. Transfer portal. Okay, at least 100 players in the NFL from roughly half of the 32 teams now face fines and possible suspensions for allegedly selling their allotted tickets to this year's Super Bowl above face value. Right? If a player sells the tickets for 1.5 times the face value, right, then they can be suspended or fined or both. All right? So I guess over 100 have done this. Tickets on the secondary market range from $2,588 to $3,500. For the cheapest seats, some tickets went for $10,000.
Wow. So every player gets tickets to the Super Bowl?
Yes. Yep. You get an allotment. Now, I don't know if it's 2 tickets, 4 tickets, whatever, but you do.
How would they even know?
Oh, they can track online the purchases.
Okay.
They can track that online. It's just like I'm amazed at the gambling industry and their ability to track problems. And I go back to the Alabama baseball coach who ended up being fired, where it was alleged that he was part of a gambling scheme to not start his best pitcher on Friday night. And right, and the bet was made in Cincinnati. It was not made in Birmingham or Tuscaloosa. It was made in Cincinnati, and the people who run the casino in Ohio figured it out.
Oh my gosh. I didn't hear about that. That's pretty bad.
No, oh yeah. But I give them credit for being able to figure that out.
You know, I live in a retirement village, right?
Yeah.
So we had this 2 weeks ago, we had this horse derby thing at our clubhouse. And it was a $5 donation to play, and then the bet was a quarter a race. And the place came in and said it was illegal gambling.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Like looking at him like, you can't be serious, right? The bet's a quarter.
Well, it's like
someone from the town, from Mansfield Stores, came in and said, I guess we'll let you play. It's like, you got to be kidding me. If you turn on a baseball game, you can bet $10 on any pitches the pitcher's going to throw to the first batter. We're sitting there. We got a horse head on a stick, and that's the horse. And you roll dice for how many moves he'll make. They tried to shut us down for illegal gambling.
Well,
90-year-old people sitting here with quarters, dimes, and nickels.
Oh, right. I mean, you have Mohegan Sun and you have Foxwoods, right, just down the road from where you guys are. And you can do all the gambling there you want, but you can't do something within the community for a quarter each? I mean, really.
Well, you go buy lottery tickets right across the street, for $30 for a scratch ticket. That's okay, but we're betting a quarter on each race, And if you win the race, you win $3.
Beautiful.
But the state doesn't get that 150.
That's right. The state doesn't get the money. The state doesn't get the money. That's the issue. Todd's right.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't even think of that. They're not getting the.
And that's why you scoundrels trying to rip off the state.
If you're in the state of Connecticut, you can smoke a joint and can't buy all the scratch tickets you want. If you're Rolling Hills Retirement Village, they want a quarter. Crazy.
So what would the tax be on the quarter there? We had 5 cents?
No, the tax rate 6.38%. So on a quarter would probably be 2 cents.
6.38. What are we taught? What are we taught? 3.08 in this state?
I don't know.
I believe we're 3.08.
I do pay my taxes, but I don't pay that close attention. Just making sure everybody knows that.
It's just great.
I wonder when's the last time the suit paid. Oh, sorry. Well, I wasn't supposed to bring that up.
Accounting tricks. His net worth is negative as far as they know.
Accounting tricks. Accounting tricks. Oh, God.
Yeah, I talked to a lawyer yesterday because I'm selling the company, and the first thing he said, we have to start with the accountant because of the taxes you're going to have to pay. I'm like, I got to pay to sell the company? You got to be kidding me. Probably capital gains tax or whatever. So everything's taxed.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'll be out of here soon.
You sound happy.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird because I've never done anything else. I've been on this road for 45 years. I got that picture of you and me, DeBurham Parts, when we were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Down.
Cheer. Yep. All the time. Dad was on the other side, you and I were on the pedal. Right? Jeez.
Yep. Down. Cheer.
It's
still in my head. He didn't say a word to us all day, just down, cheer. The old foot pedal shears that you had in high school and stuff.
Yeah. And that's what we had, Todd. Oh, goodness gracious.
We got $5 for the day.
Oh, I remember I started out at 35 cents an hour when I was 10 years old. And I remember when I got a raise to 50 cents an hour. I thought I was on top of the world.
Did you have to negotiate it?
No, actually it was volunteered. I considered holding out, but I also know if I held out what the consequences were.
They weren't too good. Remember the year we went and picked tobacco instead of worked at the shop?
Oh, yeah.
He was not happy. Oh, he was not happy.
Oh, God. Oh, but I remember sitting in that field of suckering. I hated that. God.
That's a miserable job.
Yep.
It made working here look good.
Yeah, suddenly out of nowhere that looked great.
Yeah. Why did we do this? McCormick's Farm. Remember that?
McCormick is where we were. Yep, McCormick Farm. He had 5 of those places.
Yeah.
All right.
You're listening to News Radio.